sculpture class. Welcome to week 3. This week is all about origami. Origami is the art of folding paper. So you take a piece of paper, which is typically 2-dimensional, and you fold it and create something that's 3D. There are a lot of associations with origami in Japanese culture, and actually the word origami stems from Japanese words meaning to fold paper, but it's been developed around the world. So there's lots of different cultures that have helped bring origami about and develop it further. We have some origami purists who believe that you have to follow certain rules. The first is you have to start with a square piece of paper. You're only allowed to use one sheet of paper and there is no cutting or no tape. So you're supposed to just fold the paper and you only get one sheet of paper to create your image. We are not origami purists in our class. I'm okay with you finding different layouts that require square or rectangle papers or tape or cutting. It's okay, but it's just good to be aware of those rules, and you'll definitely see most designs follow them. Typically what we see is we can find very simple designs which can take just minutes, and more complex designs which can take hours. So as you're researching, just be aware if you see a video that's like 20 minutes or more, it's probably going to take you some time to complete it. And unfortunately, the more realistic and, in my opinion, better looking the image at the end, the more complex the folding is going to be. So if you choose a very simple design, it might not look very realistic. You have to go more complex if you want that, which again, that requires a lot of time and a lot of patience. So just be aware of that. There are a few things that I want you to be aware of before we get started. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the table and show you some folds and some things that you should know. Okay, so the first thing you want to know the difference between is a mountain fold and a valley fold. So if I just take my paper and I fold it like this, and then I unfold it, I'm going to have what's called a valley fold. So it just looks like a valley. If I flip my paper over like this, I would have a mountain fold. So it's a fold that points up to the ceiling. It's really important that you don't get these mixed up. So when you're watching video tutorials, make sure that your valley fold is an actual valley fold. It's positioned correctly, and your mountain fold is positioned correctly. Another thing too that I want to point out is when you do a fold, make sure that you line up your corners right here as closely as possible. And you're not just doing like a simple like sloppy fold like this, like it doesn't look very crisp. You want to make sure that you get your folds really crisp. So you run your fingernail, if you have like a Sharpie or some material that you can use to run across the folds, this just really helps your folds stay neat. I want to show you a lot of origami starts by folding your X like this. So notice how these are both valley folds. And then after that, you flip it over. So now I have 2 mountain folds, and you're going to fold, I don't know, in elementary school, you probably heard like the hot dog or hamburger fold. I don't really know if it's a hot dog or a hamburger because it's a square piece of paper, but you're lining up your 2 corners. Lining up your 2 corners like this, and then folding like that. And then I'm not flipping my paper over anything. I'm just going to rotate and go the other way. And if you have your mountains and your valleys right, it's going to come together kind of magical. Okay, so now I have my mountain folds are going this way, my valley folds are going that way. Depending on which piece you're doing, some origami folds will require you to do a diamond collapse fold next. So if I flip it over and I poke down in the middle, and then I find my diamond like that, I can go ahead and take the middle piece. So here's my diamond. I'm going to climb up to the corner and very carefully fold that down. So I just did a collapse fold. Again, if I show you it, now that I have it folded, it's going to go together a lot better. So I have a diamond. I'm gonna climb up to my corners and collapse fold those corners. A lot of origami starts like this. Another origami, a really common start for origami is to, instead of finding the diamond, so here's my diamond, if I flip my paper over and instead find a triangle, so here is my triangle right here, I'm gonna climb up halfway up my paper and find those two edges and collapse fold it into a triangle. So come back to this video if you're starting and you're just like, I don't get how to do the triangle or the diamond, and just kind of skip forward and use this to help you. These are probably the trickiest ones. Once you start getting that, once you understand how to do the collapse folds, things get a lot easier.